Well, hello, friends of Private Universe. Welcome back. Today we have a very special guest, Desiree Lotz, a detox specialist who has helped thousands of people throughout 40 years experience, originally from South Africa, living now in United States. I rang her and we had a really interesting chat. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Desiree.
Hi, Desiree. It's Carlos. How are you?
I'm good. Hi, Carlos. I'm good, thanks. And you?
Very good, thank you. Lovely to have you on our show today.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so how's it all going over there? You're in the States, yeah?
Yeah. All I can say is right now, it's hot as hell because I'm in Florida. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Florida
lucky
is very hot.
because we're freezing down here in the Southern Hemisphere.
Okay, don't worry. I'll send you some heat.
Beautiful. Wouldn't it be lovely if we could do that, yeah?
Yeah, I would love it. And I would love the cold, just so you know, for sure.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I suppose that's why people live closer to the equator so they don't have to worry about the extremes. But it's also lovely to have seasons, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I lived in Johannesburg for a long time, and I always tell people, Johannesburg has got the best climate in the world. It's very, very seldom extreme, and you have all four seasons.
That's right, yeah. So what city are you in at the moment?
Clearwater, Florida, and it's in the Tampa Bay area.
Oh, lovely. Sounds beautiful. So how long have you been living there, Desiree?
Since 2003.
Wow.
So what's that, 18 years, yeah?
Yeah, and obviously your accent is South African.
Yeah. I meet people and then they ask me and then they give me, some of them it can be so silly and funny and I enjoy it.
Yeah. So what took you all the way from South Africa to the United States?
Well, I had a bit of an issue with something going on there in my personal life, and my youngest daughter was over here, and she saw the writing on the wall of which I'm not going to get into all the details because nobody would really understand that.
Sure.
But she said to me, "Mom, come now." And my daughter in South Africa said, "Mom, leave now."
Wow.
So I did. And I came over with 2 suitcases. One was closed for 2 weeks, and one was a bag full of documents and stuff. And I never went back.
Wow. So you haven't been back at all? Not even for a holiday?
No, I have been back in a couple of years ago, and then just before all this drama started on the planet was COVID. I went back and I was there for a few months. I have been back.
Wow. There. So do you still call South Africa home, or your new place now is home, United States?
No, this is interesting. I tell people I'm an African American, even though I've got a white skin. I am very, very South African, and and this is what I tell people is you can take me out of South Africa, but you can't take South Africa out of me.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? It's kind of so, and it's such it is. I love South Africa. I love the people and all of that good stuff. That's beautiful there.
Yeah, I'll have to go one day. I haven't been actually nowhere in Africa at all in the continent. So that's hopefully when, like you said, we've got a bit of a trouble now on the planet with this COVID. And once we control it, hopefully that will be one of my next destinations. So it sounds like a wonderful continent.
Oh, you would love it, and definitely got to go and see the wild animals. And I mean, it's just, if you come into my lounge here in Florida, and you walk into my lounge, I tell people, come and visit me in my zoo. I've got wild animals all over in my lounge. Elephants and giraffes and lions and you name it.
Wonderful. And so Florida, obviously, it must be a very big difference culturally from where you were. How did you adapt?
Well, you know what? I'm a very odd kind of a person. Most people, when they leave areas, they miss this one. Or actually, somebody was asking me about it the other day, and I'm very unusual because when I was in Australia, I was in Australia. Didn't have attention anywhere else. When I was in New Zealand, same thing. When I'm here, I'm here. When I'm in South Africa, I'm there. So I don't have weird like miss this or miss that. I am where I am. And
Okay.
it's been a huge help to me in many, many ways.
That's incredible. That is quite unique because a lot of people, yes, they do miss their country or the nostalgia, I suppose, as we talk about. And so it's wonderful that you can focus on that moment, which is the hardest thing to do in life, isn't it? To being in the zone, as the sports people say.
Because and I've always been able to. And it's funny because, I'm talking about myself now, but, when kids leave home and their parents, a lot of parents get upset and they don't like it and it causes like a bit of trauma for something in varying degrees. And my kids have all, like I left my youngest daughter here when she was 14 in 2001. And then my son went to Australia for a couple of months, and I don't have a problem with that. It doesn't upset me.
Right.
And I think I'm in communication all the time, whether it's just, spiritually or whether it's whatever it is. I don't actually know what it is. I just am,
Wonderful.
I find life to be very easy that way.
It is. As a psychologist, I can see how that would work because we spend most of our times trying to teach people, or at least try to get people to focus on what's at hand, in life, because all we have is the present, really. I mean, the past is past and the future is unknown. So really, all the great philosophers have talked about that, and in the end, we just have this little moment. And if you miss it, you tend to miss the whole of your life. A lot of people have regretted not paying more attention to the present on their deathbed. So it's wonderful that you have that natural ability to do so.
Oh, I just love it, and I've just went to visit my manufacturer of my product today, and I love going there because the wife sits outside and the squirrels and the birds are jumping around then. So I've also bought a bag of nuts now, so we throw the nuts, and then you got the lizards and you got the squirrels and you got the birds, and there's so much activity, and it's just so pleasing to have that happening around you.
Yeah, wonderful.
And like when I found a lizard in my room this morning.
Yeah.
And I tried to catch it, a little baby lizard, because I wanted to take it outside, because I've had a couple of them got stuck in my place, but then what happens is they get dried out, and then of course they die, and so I don't want that to happen to them. But the little guy was too quick for me, and I couldn't catch him. So he escaped.
Yeah. If only he knew, that you were trying to help. And so on that, you talked just to touch upon your product. So let's talk a little bit about that, about your product. How did that come about?
Well, many years ago, there's a product that the product is. When I first found the product, it was you bought the calcium powder, calcium gluconate powder, you bought the magnesium carbonate powder, and you used apple cider vinegar, and you mix it, and you make it, and it's. I mean, I've been using that for years and years. And when my kids were born, the first day they born, I give them a very watered down dose. I start them in their water bottle on it. So I've been using that for a long time. And then I was trained as a detox specialist, and one of the products you use on that program is the CalMag, because when people are detoxing, because it's a vitamin detox program, there's no medication or drugs. You're actually helping the person get the the drugs and the stuff out. I helped my daughter because she was running a detox, a rehab, a drug rehab. And so you do it that way, but then there's also, we all get exposed to chemicals. It's in our food, it's in the air, it's in the water, it's everywhere. And what happens is So I'm kind of going a little bit off the mark, so you can slap me and put me back if you want.
That's okay. That's good. I like to see the background information.
Yeah. So basically, the detox program, I'm a detox. They call it a IC in charge. So I would be running it, and you use a sauna, and the person is in the sauna for many hours every day, detoxing, getting this stuff out the body.
Right.
And so of course you've got to watch and make sure they're hydrated and various things. But the CalMag is a part of the program because it helps feed the nervous system, and it helps the body to cope and push out, to work properly.
Yeah.
And I did that for many years, and then several, just around, I can't even remember, 95, 94, I wasn't doing the detox program anymore, but the local area that was doing it couldn't find vitamin B1 anywhere, and this is a crucial part of the program. And I drove all over Joburg. I wasn't going to let them have that problem, and I drove everywhere trying to find B1. And then I started to get suspicious because I couldn't find any. I thought that Big Pharma was cutting it, stopping it because they like to sell drugs.
Sure.
So I started to get suspicious. So then I called the laboratory in another city that manufactures a lot of the vitamins. And I'm saying vitamins because I'm using American style. I used to say vitamins.
Vitamins, yes, that's right.
Yeah, I had to change that because people don't quite understand what I'm saying. Yeah. So I called the laboratory and I said to about the vitamin B1. And then they said to me, oh, it's all gone out on tender to the hospitals for the alcoholics. And then I looked and I thought, oh, wow, that's cool. That's cool. Then I dropped my suspicion. And then the guy said to me, why don't I drive over to their warehouse in Johannesburg and go and see if they've got any there. So I did. And I arrived there and asked the lady, it's like a warehouse. And now in South Africa, you can do this kind of thing. I think in America, you'll get your ass kicked.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Australia, but,
the laws are a bit more flexible.
You can live, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Anyway, she said, no, sorry, they don't have any left. So I said to her, please, won't you do me a favor? Won't you take me to the shelf where you keep it? So sure, she did. She took me there, and on the shelf were 6 little bottles. Oh. So I said to her, oh, can I buy those? She said, yeah, sure. And that's how come I started my business. I was not going to let that happen ever again.
Right.
So then I was doing the CalMag because I'd been doing it forever. And then when I started the business, I started to import the vitamins from a place here in America. Right. And so that was kind of and then because there were some people that came to America, some of my customers, and they wanted this instant CalMag that is available here in America. So I said, oh, well, okay. So when I imported the other stuff, I brought in a dozen of those for those people. And before I sell anything, I always try it myself.
Right, okay.
So I tried it, and I'm like, what the heck? This doesn't do anything for me. I'm sticking with my mixture. Anyway, so then time went on, and then one of my shipments got confiscated by our, what I'll call our FDA,
right.
Federal Drug Agency. In South Africa, it's called the MCC, Medicines Control Council, and in Australia, it's TGA, as you probably know.
Yes,
Therapeutic Goods Act. And anyway, so they confiscated my shipment when it came in, our MCC. You can't believe the bullshit around that whole cycle. But anyway.
I can imagine, yeah.
So, yeah, I just went really effect. I just blah. But luckily I had some friends, and they pulled my hair up and they pointed to the mountain and I said, see the mountain? Get going. So So I did, and I started having it made in South Africa. And then because I had these few people that wanted the instant one, I got the laboratory to make the instant one for me. And then when I got it back, I tried it again, of course. And I'm like, wow, that is incredible stuff. And I never totally knew exactly. I had my theories about why. And I've subsequently found out what it is. It's a very specific, the calcium gluconate, which is in these ones in America as well as in South Africa. But it's the quality of the calcium gluconate, I found out.
Right.
And so it's, and I kind of keep that a very secret thing now because that's obviously part of my secret of my product. And
sure, of course.
Yeah, so when I was having it made in South Africa and shipped over here when I came here. So for many years until about 2018, and then I got a local laboratory to make it, and there was another circus. They could not find that particular quality of calcium. So yeah, it was a bit of a battle, but I was not going to compromise with anything on it. Anyway, eventually they got it, and so now it's getting made for in America. It's getting made here. My South African CalMag is still being made in South Africa by our laboratory in Cape Town, and they're awesome guys. So it's really cool. Anyway, so that's basically the kind of background of CalMag.
Wow, and so you're now at the moment you're basically distributing it throughout the world with customers and so forth that you have.
I've got quite a few retail customers in Australia, but I also have distributors there, and also New Zealand and a couple of other countries as well. Denmark, UK, quite a few places. So, and I make it in. I make it in Australia for New Zealand. I usually make it in at my Cape Town laboratory because she buys it in bulk from me, and then I ship it from Cape Town. No, I don't ship it. Let me rephrase that. It goes by normal postage, and it's so cheap. But since all this drama has started with COVID, we haven't been able to do that because they're not even sending. Post office is not even sending stuff to New Zealand. I don't know if anything's changed right now. And a couple of months ago, I had to ship her some stuff from here, which costs a lot more, and the shipping costs a lot more.
Sure.
But she's got lots of customers who need it, so we kind of had to figure out a lot of stuff. But
the technicalities, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. So now I've got myself a new laboratory here, and I love the people. They are so cool.
That was a lot of fun indeed. Stay tuned for part 2 of my chat with Desiree Lotz. For the time being, remember, existence is a miracle.